welcome to The Subject is Moot, where everything we discuss is debatable. I am Dom, and across from me is...
Mike.
And a special thanks to Vinny and Quiz, the producers of the podcast. We want to hear from you, so write in your opinion, comments, or topics you want us to talk about to thesubjectismoot@yahoo.com, and we will bring them up during future shows. You could also follow us on Twitter at TSIM_podcast, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. In the search bar, just type in The Subject is Moot or Dom Mike, and you'll find us. We are back behind the mics for episode 21, Mike, where I think we'll just address some more questions that we were fielding on Facebook and Twitter, as well as Instagram.
We love questions, and we love answering them.
Yes, we
do. And talking about them.
But before we get started with answering the questions, this episode is brought to you by Sweetwater. Sweetwater has been providing music instruments and pro audio since 1979. They have excellent products, pricing, and customer service. Sweetwater also offers interest-free financing, free shipping to the lower 48 states, and an exclusive free 2-year warranty, which comes with nearly every product they offer. They are located in the United States in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Call 800-222-4700 for sales assistance, technical questions, or advice. You could also check out their website at sweetwater.com.
You think the water is sweeter in Indiana?
You know that they send you candy with every order?
No, because they're great. They're a great company.
They are.
Superior.
I have a box upstairs waiting to be opened, full of stuff that I ordered from Sweetwater just the other day.
Happy Ether.
All right, so recently we posted a question that I know you and I spoke about several shows ago. With all the bands out there, who is the last greatest band? We discussed this during our recent podcast. What's your opinion? And we had a few people write in. One of them is Dan from New York. He said the Foo Fighters.
Agreed.
Teddy Lewis, again, writes in from the Hawk, 105.7, Jersey Shore radio DJ. And he wrote Foo Fighters also.
Agreed.
And this is actually the band that I selected to
Never Hear Again.
To Never Hear Again. I guess I have to go back to try and listen to them again.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's a matter of. But again, if I didn't like Aerosmith, but doesn't make them not classic. You don't like what you don't like. That's it. Simple.
Well, no, and that's true. I'm not going to change who I like just because Teddy Lewis and Dan wrote in and said they're Foo Fighters. I definitely respect their opinion, and you know what? You're right. You probably are right. I would pick Alter Bridge as the last greatest band, but that's because I'm on such a Miles Kennedy and Alter Bridge high right now. But
well, it's also preference. I could pick my favorite band in the world and say they're the last greatest band. But what we're talking about here, I think, and
popular bands. I think you're
mass appeal.
Yeah, absolutely mass appeal. And you know what? You are right. You're 100% right. It probably is. Well, I can't say you're 100% right and then say probably, but I would have to say you are right. It is the Foo Fighters. I can't think of somebody else. Even though I'm not going to select them as the last greatest band, I will select them for the general question. But I will not select them as my last greatest band. If we
can gauge the success of any kind of musician in New York City or New Jersey, you would be selling the garden out, right? Besides you two, who have been around since the late 70s, right? Mm-hmm. Of the more recent bands within the past 15 years, who could sell the garden out? Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody else.
You know? I mean, there are some bands up and coming, like Imagine Dragons, do pretty well for themselves.
Well, you don't think Green Day will?
You've said that Green Day you thought they were the last greatest band, which I didn't dispute.
That's because I don't even think about Foo Fighters.
Right, I don't dispute it, but I think Foo Fighters either have just as big of a following or possibly a bigger following than Green Day. And as far as them being around longer, well, that's only because Grohl was in Nirvana when Green Day came out.
I kind of hear more Green. I hear more Green Day on the radio than I do Foo Fighters, though. Is their catalog bigger?
I don't listen to the radio, so I'm not.
Satellite. That's what I'm talking about.
Even satellite.
Oh. Let's. I'm going to ask you a question. You don't have to answer it. We're going to play Card Sharks. You tell me if it's higher or lower. The number of CDs you have, is it higher than 2,000 or lower than 2,000?
Higher.
Well, I would have to say
maybe. No. You're talking to a person who doesn't count.
I would have to say you have to have more than 2,000. I'm encroaching on 1,000.
Yeah, so then I do.
And
maybe well more. I'm not sure. It's been I haven't.
Where do you keep this stuff?
Boxes and crates for now, because with the move and stuff, it was tough. I would have them displayed if I could, but not right now.
I don't know.
And I keep buying because I love it, and I'm still going to support it till it dies.
When does it stop, though? Like when does it become enough? And let me take that back, because there's no such thing as ever enough music. Okay, but
I'm overwhelmed. I'll be the first person to say it. I'm overwhelmed because I listen to such a wide array. Plus, the stuff that I love, like my prog, like my metal, it's constantly being released. Bands that I like from the past, newer bands that I'm finding. There's bands underground. In the instrumental guitar industry exploded within the past 7 years or so. There's so many out there on Bandcamp. There are people selling through their own sites and whatnot. So it doesn't stop. For me, I'm going to have to stop soon because I get overwhelmed. But
you know what the problem is? If I can't listen to a band, if I can't listen to a disc as much as I listen to, and I'm just going to name a couple: Images and Words, Awake, Scenes from a Memory, Flying in a Blue Dream, and a lot of the Van Halen albums. If I can't listen to all of my music as much as I listen to those, then I have too much.
I agree.
Because I want to be able to know that song backwards. That's how much I listen to Flying in a Blue Dream and every one of those other albums I mentioned. That I've actually listened to them so much that if I could warp a CD, I would have.
And that's a relatable point to what started me out collecting and continuously looking for newer stuff, because, and it's going to sound crazy maybe to real audiophiles and music fanatics out there like myself may understand this, but I'm not even sure if they'll agree. I always wanted to be able to put those records you just mentioned on and get the same feel and enjoy them the same way I did the first time I heard them, and the 5th time that I heard them, and the 25th time that I heard them, and I loved them inside and out, that I never wanted to get bored of them. So what I did was to put some distance in between not hearing them over and over and over again, and not having the only thing I could listen to was Images and Words, or Flying in a Blue Dream.
I forgot to mention Operation Mindcrime.
Right, any of those. Was to just start listening to other bands and branching out as much as I possibly could, which turned into branching out and branching out and branching out, and it's still going. And it may even borderline an addiction. I love music so much, and I love hearing new music. It is a great feeling. I love hearing what artists have to do. And again, it's like a resurgence of what I love too right now. So the stuff, the musicianship-driven music has really taken an upswing.
There's no doubt it's an addiction. It's definitely a great addiction. It's a drug. I don't want to downplay. I'm not gonna downplay the word a drug addiction and compare the two. No. And I'm not going there, and I probably shouldn't have even said that.
Rational people will understand what you're saying.
But when you love music the way you love music, and I know the way I love music, you take it definitely further with the amount of CDs you buy. But that's your thing. You'd rather have that than go spend $3, $4, $5 on coffee every day.
Yeah, I won't. Or anything else for that matter.
Yeah. So, but I think music is a drug. It's always on for me, whether I'm driving, sleeping. Well, I'm not when I'm sleeping, but I could see it, but I have to draw that line in the sand.
You're lucky. I wish I could, because even if I just stuck to those artists you mentioned and their past records and their newer stuff, and just said, okay, I'm just going to stick to my 10 favorite artists or 15 favorite artists and just listen to what they continue to put out, I'd probably be fine and still have a lot of music to listen to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I keep stumbling upon these bands that tickle my eardrums, and I'm like, wow, man, this is just outstanding stuff. I can't.
But it'll never stop, because bands will come out with new music.
I know. I have to stop, because you get inundated. I'm overwhelmed because I forget that I have stuff, and then I'll put it on. I'm like, wow, that is so good. How come I'm not listening to that? Well, it's because there's 15 other new bands that I caught on to, so it's hard.
That's the hardest part is not being able to enjoy everything that you have.
True.
Why
Time.
Why don't you just have
I had nothing
30
but
kids?
time.
Just have 30 kids then. How are you going to enjoy them?
Right.
Or 10 puppies.
No, I know.
It's how do you have time to listen to all that? And
I had time.
Well,
so much time.
Well, you listen to a lot of music at work. I can listen to a lot of music at work as well, sometimes. But I don't want to just listen to music. I want to be able to put the headphones on and just get lost.
Well, nothing's better than that.
Yeah,
nothing is better.
And that's
rare too.
If I can't do that, that's why I don't want to inundate myself. I have enough music because I'm going back now to CDs and music that I've had that I've collected by people just giving them to me.
Right.
That I didn't listen to, that I'm starting to listen to now. But when you get bands like Greta Van Fleet and Shaw Davis, who are up-and-coming bands that are almost reinventing or bringing back the good sounds of when we were younger, in a way.
But even like a band like Greta Van Fleet, you're going to have a split audience because you're going to have those people who go, psh, Zeppelin ripoff.
Yeah.
And you're going to have those people who embrace the Zeppelin comparison.
Who's going to embrace the Zeppelin comparison? A younger crowd or because then I just want to give you my opinion if that's the case.
Again, it's going to be split because you're going to have the younger crowd who's going to go, wow, a band from our time who rocks like they do, and really, really captures that sound and that era. And you're going to have the old people who go, wow, these kids, they really put it out there and sound a lot like Zeppelin. And then on the other hand, you're going to have the young kids who are going to, they're just trying to ride Zeppelin's coattails. And, the old people are going to go, there's nobody better than Zeppelin ever. So it's going to be a split. You're going to have a split crowd on that. You really are. Split audience is going to be there. And shame on anyone who, everyone is influenced by someone.
I think I don't really have a big deal. Look, if they're not, first of all, I don't think they're walking around saying we're the next great Led Zeppelin.
No, not at all.
They don't want to be considered Led Zeppelin.
But there's a confidence in their songwriting. There's a confidence in their delivery. If you watch them live on YouTube or whatever, they have a swagger about them, and that's what you need.
But you have to be when you go up on stage.
Well, especially not only that, what they're trying to put out there.
Mm-hmm.
Their product, their style of music. You need to have a swagger because you're trying to recapture, which needs to be recaptured. There's nothing wrong with it. You need to recapture the Jagger, the Plant, that era, because something's got to wake people up to realize that there's still a great music scene out there, people.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it sounds something like you already know, that's comforting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So,
well, look what they did at the Starland Ballroom. They sold out in seconds.
Wow.
So they're doing something right.
Sure.
Whether or not they're ripping off, I don't think they're ripping off Led Zeppelin. I think it's good. Why don't you think of it this way? Let's say the young crowd likes Greta Van Fleet, right? And they embrace them, they welcome them, and all of a sudden now that exposes them to Led Zeppelin.
It's possible.
What's wrong with that?
More than likely, though, they're already going to be exposed to that because any young person
mm-hmm.
who's into rock is going to have to be exposed from their father probably or their mother, usually. But then again, young people now, their parents aren't from the Zeppelin era yet. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a 20-year-old person whose parents are 50,
mm-hmm.
They may not have been, at the time Zeppelin was coming up in the 70s, they may have been young.
Mm.
You have a 50-year-old person who was born in 68, right? When they were 5 or 6, they weren't listening to Zeppelin when Zeppelin came out. So
I welcome it. I embrace it. When I first heard
love them.
Yeah,
they're great.
And they're coming back, I think, in the Starland.
May, I think it's May.
And you're going to, well, isn't that the first show that you missed?
No, I think they played already, didn't they?
I don't know. I thought it was May.
It could be.
I could be wrong, too.
Maybe they're sold out then. I don't even know idea.
I could be wrong. I know that somebody I knew is looking for tickets, but I don't know. I can't remember anything anymore, but I welcome that sound. look at Shaw Davis and the Black Ties.
Well, I'll be talking about them later in my Arsenal podcast, but let me tell you something.
Look forward to that.
That kid, that kid's going to be big, and if he's not, within blues, he'll be big. He's outstanding. 23 years old. Really showcases that Stevie Ray Vaughan sound. He just goes out and just plays the hell out of his guitar. It's not that slow churning blues.
No.
For just his first album, and at 23 years old, if he gets into the right hands of the big powers out there who could help him out a little bit, he's going to be something big.
I don't think he plays brass to the walls like Stevie Ray did, but he sure does come close, and
no one ever did or ever will.
Ever will. No, I know that, but I do like his energy, and I do like where it's going. And that's, and like you said before, though, I don't take to new music that easily, but I definitely was hooked by Greta Van Fleet and Shaw Davis and the Black Ties, and I look forward to more. But just had to throw that out there because of the new music.
I think some of the other bands out there that are really good, that I don't know about mass appeal, because I don't know if your metalheads will be going to their concerts, but like the Killers and Kings of Leon, Imagine Dragons, these bands are really good.
I like Kings of Leon.
Yeah, they put on a great live show. Their studio albums are they're churning out one good one after. There's always quality. It may not be as good as their last or whatever, or someone's favorite, but it's not like they're putting out bomb records. So they're still going, and these bands are still, the Killers have been around for a while.
Yeah.
So is Kings of Leon. Imagine Dragons is a newer band, but there's a whole, again, if you keep your ears open, there's a lot of quality music out there in any genre that could have mass appeal to it too.
You could stop listening to new music today, and you'd still have enough in your collection.
Oh yeah, beyond, more than enough.
Then I think you'd probably get to appreciate it more.
100%. Well, it goes into, with me buying music too is tough, because I think one of the smarter ways that a lot of these underground or independent artists are marketing their music is because when they're offering a new album or new music, if they press vinyl or CD, or even a lot of them, especially in metal for some crazy reason, are pressing cassettes too, it's always a limited run. And that's a great marketing scheme on an independent level, because it's basically telling the person of interest, hey, if you like what I have, you better get on it, because I'm only pressing 100 CDs.
Why do they press cassettes anymore? Who has a cassette? I mean, I have a cassette player, but I've also grown up with cassette players, so I won't get rid of it because I still have cassettes. What new person?
I think a lot of young kids who are into certain styles of music, like especially thrash, for some reason.
They have to be audiophiles.
Thrash and death metal bands are starting to press cassettes, which I find odd.
But I don't even see them being sold.
No, you're not. It's
cassettes. No, but I'm saying cassette players.
Oh yeah, I don't know where they're probably getting them from, their parents, or yard sales or flea markets or something like that. Because I don't even know where you'd get them, or eBay.
Yeah, but you know what? When vinyl started coming back, you started to see Barnes and Noble and BJ's and Costco selling that USB turntable, and you saw them. You saw them in the stores. I don't even see a cassette player anywhere.
You're not going. You probably won't be.
I see cassettes.
I can't see them coming back on a big scale, because cassettes just aren't a good format. They're just not. And vinyl, I could understand why it came back, because it's the purest form of audio out there, as far as something you can put your hands on. But cassettes aren't, and they never were. We just had to deal with them because that's all we had for a while.
That's all we had. Yeah, well,
besides vinyl.
Well, that's because it was better than an 8-track.
Plus, you could walk around with it too. Once the Walkman came out, it changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, it's still a great marketing tool, because you have, and this is a fact, you have big stores like Best Buy and Target who are pulling their physical music. Best Buy, I believe, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but I think as of July 1st of this year is not going to be selling CDs anymore. They're just going to be selling vinyl, and I think the only reason they're doing that is because it's contractual. I think they're going to try for 2 more years to sell vinyl Best Buy, and then go from there to see what the sales are like, which I can't see people going to Best Buy to buy vinyl. I just don't. they'll go to, the small mom and pop shops, and they'll go onto the internet to buy their vinyl. I don't see a lot of people going into Best Buy, because Best Buy is only going to still carry, popular stuff. They're not going to be selling that mid-tier, like rock or metal band, or, unknown alternative band. It's crazy, because you go into even Barnes and Noble, there's a lot more vinyl than anything else right there. So, and I think Target wants. There's some deal with Target. They've really all Targets have reduced their CD section drastically, and you can just tell they're weeding it out. You can just see it's the beginning of the end for them. That's a shame too, because both of them, both Best Buy and Target, have offered many times like additional tracks that were exclusive to both those stores. Which was always fun for a collector. That now, without the two of them selling, that's not going to happen anymore, which is a shame. Target probably will still sell the popular stuff, and maybe you'll get, like a Taylor Swift album that'll have 5 extra tracks, or maybe even like a country artist or something, or Adele. She's done that. I think her last 2 releases, Target had exclusive.
Definitely 25 was.
Yeah, and 21 too. I have a 21 Target. But even Best Buy too. Best Buy's offered. I know even someone like Joe Satriani had, on one of his records, had 2 Best Buy exclusive tracks, which was great. Even recently, your guy Miles Kennedy, he offered 3 acoustic tracks that were exclusive to Best Buy.
Yeah, I missed that. I'll pick it up.
And which is crazy, to almost go against or contradict what they're doing. Coming up on April 21st is Record Store Day, where all the independent record stores are going to have, and everyone who loves collecting and music knows about Record Store Day. There's 2 a year. There's one after Thanksgiving, and then there's the main one, which is in April. And I mean, that says a lot. But for me, if you're going to give me the choice of spending $10 on a download or $12 on a CD, and I know there's shipping involved and stuff, but
I'll pay the extra money.
I'm still paying the extra money for it. You know what I'm saying? And it pushes me too, because as a collector and a person who's always bought physical music, I don't like to hesitate. So the tough part about it is sometimes I don't really have enough chance to sit down and digest a band or an album, because I don't feel like I have the time. Like, there's a guitar player that I've been waiting over a year for to see if he would release his new album, which came out last year, on CD or any kind of format. Waited, because he wanted like $10 or $11 for his download on his Bandcamp. Amazon wanted $9 or $10 for it. So I was like, I just can't do it. I can't do it. So I waited. In February, on his Facebook, he announced that he'll be selling a short run of CDs, and it probably sold out within a week or so. And I missed out on it. And I've been
short
waiting.
Window.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. A lot of these artists only give you a short window. Some won't sell. You'll know. You'll know the artists who you have to get on quick, and some artists who you have plenty of time to buy. So it's tough, man. It's tough, because you could tell when the big chains are starting to reduce. And again, I'm not that afraid of it. I know CD sales are still down, but I'm not that afraid, because you can't just gauge sales off of Best Buy and Target, in my opinion, because music fans and audiophiles are going to go underground to find whatever they want. And like myself, like anyone. So you're not going to get record sales. You're not going to be able to check numbers and whatnot. But to me, it doesn't mean the music scene is dead at all, because it never will.
It's just different.
It's different, right?
It's not dead. It's different.
Right. It's a different day and age. So, with Best Buy and Target doing that, I don't know how it's going to affect the industry. How much more can it affect the industry? The industry knows sales are down. You want to get people to buy. I mean, young kids are not going to buy physical rap music. Most of them do not. I mean, unless they're into vinyl.
I still can't wrap my head around iTunes Music, Amazon Music. I think it's a fantastic thing to just throw on in the background. But I need to have that CD, and I still can't. I can't I mean, I have everything right at my fingertips. Any song almost that I want to hear, I can just Bluetooth it to my stereo in my car, to my radio. I just don't like that format. I'd rather put it on an SD card like I have in my dashboard and be able to just browse right through my dashboard without having to pick up my phone to be looking for, or making playlists.
Well, the argument is always going to be, well, you can do that with Spotify, with Apple Music, with Amazon Music, because you could take that and listen to even a whole album if you subscribe to it or pay for it. You have to pay for it.
I do, though. I pay for it.
Right.
And I could do that. But what I'm saying is I don't like that format. I just can't get into that. It's not mine. I'm renting it.
Right. And I don't think the youth of today care about having something that's theirs.
They don't care about that.
Even video games, you don't have to buy. No. You don't get a disc anymore if you don't want to.
No, you download them.
You buy a card. You get the number on the code on the card. You put your Xbox, your PlayStation on. You punch the code in. You download the game, and is it yours? I think so, as long as your hard drive doesn't die.
No, it's almost like buying. I think if you pay for it, no, it's just like
it's on their server.
But if you bought it, let's say you buy a song off Amazon, it's yours. If your computer crashes, you will start up another computer.
You get through your account.
You get it through your account. It's yours. There's one positive thing that comes out of digital downloads, and that's not storing the stuff.
100%.
Okay, think of all the CDs that you have and the physical space that this requires.
100%.
Okay, and me, I took them all out of jewel cases. I regret it now, but if I think about it, I have 1,000 CDs. Where am I putting all that? They're already in a big tote. I have 1,000 CDs in a tote. I don't want any more than that. That's even too much.
I know.
And there's going to come a point where, it's going to become too much, and I don't even want to store that much. So
I think about it often. Trust me.
No, but you're not going to do anything about it because but we're not going to do anything about it.
Well, as you said earlier, if I stop right now, I'm still have too much till if I live to 100, I would still have too much to wrap my head around.
Well,
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, time will tell. I think it's time for the artist of the podcast. So why don't you? Let's hear a little bit about Shaw Davis and the Black Ties.
Shaw Davis and the Black Ties. Just stumbled upon him less than a month ago. And I'm not even into blues that much. Couldn't believe how good this kid was for his age. Playing, even still right now, today, playing small clubs and bars and sport bars in Florida. I think he has a bright, bright future. You can go check him out on SeanDavisBlackTies.com. You can actually buy his CD. It's probably one of the only places you can find the CD too if you're looking to buy it. I don't know. I think there's some live performances on YouTube. Amazon has him on I believe their music site too. You can listen to his whole album on their music site. He's fantastic. I think he only has his best stuff is yet to come, and this record is still good. His band is excellent. What more could you say from a 23-year-old kid who's playing the blues?
And he's playing it the way he's playing it.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like your slow churning blues, which is great stuff too. He's really going out there and throwing some fire into the guitar.
Brass to the wall.
Yeah, it's rock. It's rocking blues. Let's put it that way. There's a little hard rock edge to it. It's not your typical traditional blues. It's very, very good. Check him out, definitely.
We want to hear from you, so write in your opinion, comments, or topics you want us to talk about too. The subject is moot@yahoo.com. And we will bring them up during future shows. You could also follow us on Twitter at TSIM_podcast, as well as Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube in the search bar. Just type in the subject is moot or Dom Mike, and you'll find us. For now, I am Dom, and across from me is
Mike, and we are out.